Okay, class, this is the first video in week 5, and we're going to add an operating system for us to deploy. First thing we need to do is open up our File Explorer, go to C drive, go to Source Files, and create a folder called Windows 10. Now we're going to go back to the lab, and we're going to insert the Windows 10 disk into our SCCM machine. I'm going to go back to see why it didn't get inserted. So Windows 10, then hit the insert button. Go back to the console. So I'm going to open up this disk, hit Control A to copy everything, and Control A to select everything, then copy. So once you have it copied, go to that folder, and paste it in. This will be the source files for our installation. There's only two real things that we really need. The install WIM out of this folder and the root of this drive to launch the installation. The root of our CD-ROM is what's needed to launch the installation. So if you're missing these files, it won't actually start the installation. Okay, that's done. The next thing we're going to add to source files, we're going to go to our C drive, program files, I'm looking for our ADK. Maybe it's under 32-bit. No, it's not under 64-bit. It's 32-bit, and it is window kits. 10 assessment and deployment kit, and user state migration tool. We need to copy this whole folder. We need to convert this into a package. So we're going to copy it. This was installed when we installed the ADK. This is going to allow us, when we deploy an image, to copy any user settings off that image, store it in a temporary location, deploy the new image, and copy the information back. So it's just going to migrate the user state. Any documents the student might have, anything like that, we need this service, we need this application to do it. So I'm going to copy that and paste that in our source files location. Remember to copy and not cut. We could have left it in the source in the original location, but we've already had this directory, so we're just going to copy it here for convenient reasons. So the next thing we need to do is um, we're going to fix our boot images. We have two boot images, and they were there when we installed SCCM. You might have if you do an upgrade, they might get upgraded. But right now, when we go to Pixie Boot a client, these are the images that are going to be sent out to the client that will allow the client to get booted up. Uh, Once that's done, we'll actually do the install using install Wim. But these are the two files that are used to boot the remote clients. This is X 32-bit and 64. I'm going to look at the 64 first. Go to properties, images. I can't remember the location of what I need, so I'm just going to look through it. Under customization, enable command support for uh, testing. This will allow you to open up a command prompt if anything goes wrong with the image. Otherwise, you won't be able to do anything, look at log files, anything like that. So I think it's Shift F10 or F8 when you boot up to the boot Wim. I'm not positive, but this will allow you to get into a command prompt and um, look at log files, fix something if you need to, whatever. So the next thing we need to do is check this. We're going to copy the package to our distribution point. So we just need to get that done. And that's the only thing we need to do to the boot image. So we're going to do that to the 32-bit boot image as well. Um, when you do this, what it's going to do is it's going to rebuild that boot image. So this might take a few minutes. I'm going to pause the video. Okay, guys, I didn't walk through the wizard. Okay, we're done updating that boot image. We're going to go update our other boot image. Customize, we're going to allow command prompt to be used. And we're going to make sure that the boot image is deployed from the distribution point. I think everything else is okay. Oh no, I'm going to copy it to the distribution point. Again, it's going to take a few minutes to update the boot image. It basically mounts the WIM file to a folder, makes the changes, commits the changes, and unmounts it from that folder. I'll pause the video. Okay, that's done. So I'm going to close that. So both my boot images have been updated. So now you could create custom boot images if you wanted to. We're not going to do this for this class. I will let you know, guys, that in past classes, sometimes these boot images were corrupted and we needed to rebuild them from scratch or copy them from another machine or something. I don't know if we'll have that problem with this version. You know, every time I teach this class, they've updated the software and they fix some things and break others. So we'll see how it goes. So the other thing I want to do is I want to go up to packages. And we need, oh, Okay, guys, I had you create a package for user state migration tool. I had you copy over the software. Right here. I guess we didn't need to do that. It's done automatically for us with this new version. So that's good. So we can just delete this. We didn't need to copy it. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is configure one of our role services. So I'm going to go to administration, go to servers and site roles. I'm going to scroll down until I get to um, give me 1 second. I have someone at the door. Okay, guys, so what we're going to do is go back to the distribution point and go to properties. So we haven't configured Pixie Boot yet. Um, we're not going to use multicast in our labs, but if you go to Pixie Boot, enable Pixie Boot, it's going to say that these ports are going to be used. Incidentally, 67 and 68 are part of DHCP. So we need to be careful with those. I'm going to show you how to handle those. It's saying you might need to open up the firewall. I don't think we do. I think it's going to do it for us. Guys, you're going to want to set up a password. If you don't set up a password, someone can accidentally Pixie boot their machine by putting it in the thumb drive, and not boot to the hard disk, it jumps to the network card, and it could blow away their image. So you need to be very careful. We also want to enable unknown support, enable unknown computer support. Basically, we want to allow students to, allow clients to boot up off of this Pixie Boot server if we don't know about them. If they're brand new clients right out of the box or brand new virtual machines, we want to turn this on. Otherwise, this will never allow them to Pixie Boot. We're going to allow this distribution point to respond to incoming Pixie request. We need to be careful. Again, we need to do some other things with the DHCP server because it's on the same box. We only have one interface, so we're just going to respond to that one interface. There's device affinity. Device affinity is basically if a user always uses the same computer, that's his kind of like his home device. You can define that so things can automatically be deployed to his home device, where he might not need something on a device he just uses temporarily. So we're not going to deal with that right now. Again, multicast, we're not going to enable. Generally, most networks don't allow that anyways. Guys, this was already checked for me. It might not be for you. When you check this, it actually installs WDS. So when you when you check this and click OK, it might be a few minutes for it to install WDS. Guys, I'm going to go to WDS and see. Give it a moment to open up. Okay, so right now, our WDS server, we don't want to walk through this wizard because it's going to do everything is being done from SCCM. So we need to be careful with this. Don't walk through the wizard and then configure WDS. It's going to be done through SCCM. So this should just sit here. These roles are going to be controlled by SCCM. So don't walk through the wizard and configure WDS. I'm going to look at DHCP. I'm going to show you this option. I'm going to go back over to my distribution point. When I checked this box right here, what it did was it went to my DHCP service on the same machine. It sensed it was on the same machine and created this 060 Pixie client for me. I didn't have to do this. So by checking this, this was done for me automatically. Okay, so now we have everything set up for our all the prereq stuff done. We just need to add an OS, then create a task sequence. So I'm going to go back to software library. So we're going to go to operating system images, right click, add an operating system. We want to specify the path to install.wim. So SCCM backslash source files backslash Windows 10 backslash sources, sorry guys, sources, then install Wim. I'll go back. So that's the path to the install Wim. We copied this off our DVD. Click next, it determined the name. Click next, and close. Now that's the actual file that's going to get, it's going to apply this image to our hard disk. Now when our system boots up, actually this new version, we don't need to, on the new version, we don't need to actually supply the installer. It figures out the installer on its own. So that's good. Hold on one second. I have someone at my door. Okay, guys, it's the first week of registration. So I'm getting a bunch of knocks on my door. In the past, guys, what we would have to do is, in addition to adding the image, we would actually have to right click and add an installer file for that image. And it's just pretty much pointing to that folder. So if you're in an older version of SCCM, I'm saying like a year ago, you would right click, you would add the installer, and you would just navigate through the UNC, not the local path, but you would navigate to this folder and just choose this folder, and it would find the files that it needed. So apparently we don't need to do that for this new version because it's just not here. Okay, guys, a little bit about a little update before I stop this video. We still have to do the task sequence to deploy the image, but here's what I've been working on. I can't get Windows updates in ACE-IT. So what I've been doing is creating a couple of images of SCCM and our DC, and we're going to add those to ACE-IT, and I'm going to have them pre-patched. So I'm installing the latest version of all the SCCM stuff and all the updates, so we don't have the issues. I'm still in the middle of that installation. So last Thursday, I spent my time setting all this up. I wasn't able to make a video, but I want to create new images for us with the latest software. This is actually SCCM 1702. And at that point, give us clean images already set up, so we don't have to fight the battles that we were fighting with Windows Update. I can't do the WSUS lab with our current images in ACE. So my plan is to build these images in Hyper-V in my office, then move them over to ACE once they're completed. At that point, we'll have all the Windows updates already on the system, and we'll be able to do the WSUS lab, integrating that in SCCM. So I've been working on this at the same time as trying to do these videos. So be patient with me. We will get to everything. I have no other solution but to build them outside of ACE, copying them over, and at that point, any virtual machines that you have set up, will just blow them away and use the images that I'm creating, which will be the latest SCCM software that's out there with all their updates. For this lab, we still have to do our task sequence. We're not going to be able to test it because we're not going to have enough disk space, but that's okay. I don't want to spend a lot of time testing it. I'd rather just have you go through the motions of setting up the SCCM server, and we're just going to assume that it deploys the OS no problem. Okay, that's it for this video. I want to upload it to YouTube, go to class, and when I get out of class, I'll add this to D2L.